And we are live, everyone. Welcome to BigGunner81. I want to thank our sponsors. Unfortunately, I can't play my intro today because we're having some technical difficulties. But I want to first thank Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks at afgw.com. And, of course, Eggleston Munitions at egglestomunitions.com. The Range at 3D5. BATArms.com. And Tier 1 Training Corp. And hopefully I didn't forget somebody. That's why I like having my intro. But welcome, everyone. Tonight we got kind of an eclectic group of people with us tonight. We've got Bill here with us, who runs a podcast, and go ahead and say hello.
Good evening, folks. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you.
Tenda, who has a YouTube channel here.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are we doing? Thank you for having me.
Mostly gun stuff, but you also do have some other things you have on your channel as well, and we'll talk about that in a little while. And of course, we got Toby Babcock with us from Tier 1 Training.
How's everybody doing tonight? I just waved even though I'm just on audio.
That's funny. Nice. Yes, welcome. Thanks for being with us. And we got Todd here, who is working with a 3-gun match down in Southern Illinois.
Hello, how are we doing?
Good. Thanks for being on with us. So we're going to start with Bill first. Bill, if you want to give us a little bit of your background, I guess, as far as shooting and kind of talk to us a little bit about your podcast and what you do.
Well, the podcast is called the Firearms Chat Podcast. It's been operating now about 3.5 years. We've moved around to a couple of different sites trying to find the right home. I think we found the right home right now. We're going to be starting up at gunlink.com coming up in the next week. And also I'll be writing and broadcasting at 2AO.org. Which is an organization trying to remind everybody of what the Second Amendment is really all about. And they're doing a bus tour, co-sponsored with the NRA, that is going to be doing 20 cities in 60 days, where we will be having novice or intermediate shooters bringing new shooters to the range for the first time, to get them involved. And this is very much like Project Appleseed, but the difference here is that we're actually asking people, we're going out into our community of shooters and asking people who have shot but are not as experienced as us to bring somebody who has no experience for the very first time. And as well as getting involved with that, I was a sports writer for about 30 years before I started doing this, as well as being an educator, and I served 12 years in the United States Army, and I come from a military and police background, so that's basically me.
Very cool. So again, where can people find your podcast, and how often do you post your podcast?
Right now it's weekly. And it'll be starting this coming week. Will be the first episode at gunlink.com. And you can also hear us. I'll be doing a special bi-monthly show at 2AO.org with the guys from 2AO.org, Ace Luciano, Brian Crossweight, Ted Yost, those guys over there, Chris Pugh, fantastic group of guys. Very aggressive campaign to get the word out about the Second Amendment in this election year. You know, trying to counter some of the anti-Second Amendment and anti-NRA rhetoric we hear from the left.
Good deal. So.
Bill, and just to jump in there, Bill, I just wanted to say, as a gun owner, and protector of the Second Amendment, I really appreciate what you're doing. The conversation on the Second Amendment has become so perverted lately. Everybody talks about, oh, well, you don't need a AR-15 for hunting. You don't need this for necessarily protecting your home. People forget what it's really about. That it's not just about hunting. It's not just. I mean, it really isn't about hunting, and it really isn't about just self-protection. It's about the protection from tyranny, and the importance of that, and not making it about just hunting and self-protection. So I appreciate those of you that are out there fighting the good fight and getting the education side out there.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, man. And you know, you understand. It's just like when I interviewed Ted Nugent last year at SHOT Show. He said, "You understand, Dr. Bill. You know why we need this." And you know, I have a hard time because I happen to be Jewish. I have a hard time explaining to people that. You know, when I talk to fellow people in my faith and I tell them why they should not be voting Democrat, you know, we have a good saying in an organization that I'm involved with, Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, which is partnered with Second Amendment Foundation. You know, nothing says never again like an armed Jew.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. So, to kind of change things up a little bit, you mentioned about being at SHOT Show. Are you planning on going to the NRA show coming up?
Not this year, but hopefully next year. You know, I'm also I have a chronic medical condition that requires continual treatment. I'm on kidney dialysis, so for me to travel, you know, I have it pretty well set up now to go to SHOT Show and get treated while I'm in Vegas. But you know, it's a little harder to find dialysis center in Louisville, Kentucky. So maybe next year. I'll have a little more lead time. I'll be able to do it. Otherwise, Rick, we would have hooked up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, exactly, because I'm planning on being there this
Good. Fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be the first time going, but yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Sorry, go ahead, Todd.
I said you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it'll be very cool. I got to go to a SHOT Show this year for the first time as well, and that was a blast. Definitely loved it. Definitely got to meet a lot of people.
Yep.
Just from all different aspects of the firearms industry. Fellow YouTubers, manufacturers, all types of people. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. This was my 4th year, and my first year I went as a guest, and these last 3 years I've gone as media. And you know, you make a lot of great contacts in the industry. You get to talk to a lot of people. And Rick, I'm going to shoot you a couple of hookups when we're done with this. People you should go talk to over there at the show. You'll just drop my name, and you'll get a couple of 10 minutes interview there.
That'd be very cool. I appreciate it. So,
no problem.
We're going to talk with Tenda a little bit too. Tenda, tell us a little bit about kind of your background and about your channel and so forth. And
Alright, I'm Fabrizio Vianello, better known as Tenda. I'm originally from Italy, Venice actually, and I moved over here in 2011.
Wow.
My
Nice.
wife, thank you. My wife is American, so I've been living here for 4 years almost, and I've been doing different jobs. And I'm regret to moving here. Actually, I appreciate this country more than where I come from, because Italy went in the dump lately. But anyway, I'm a gun, I would say gun enthusiast. I do a little bit of prepping too, which is everyone should do anyway, because it's a form of you know, when you got a little stash of food, you got a month, your check is a little bit low. Okay, now you got food that you can get the end of the month. Or something happened like a snowstorm or something, you're ready for that. No electricity, you got something you can plan on something. Anyhow, and other than that, I have a YouTube channel that I've been doing, I would say, let me think about probably 2012. And in the last 2 years, I've been a little bit more involved. After I started going to SHOT Show, which is, I think, my 3rd or my 4th year, last one was. Because I work on the side, I help an Italian friend, he has a company in Italy. So we go over there for research new products and everything. So I help them out with my fairly decent English. So they feed me and they give me a place to sleep, and I have the chance to meet a bunch of friends that I met during these years. We say I was saying before, I'm more in a Eastern Bloc guy, gun guys. Start to appreciate a little bit more the AR platform lately, mostly in the exotic variants than not the classic 5.56. believer on the AR in 7.62 by 39, which sounds like a blasphemy.
Yeah.
Mine so far works pretty well. I was actually surprised. Other than that, I do other kind of collection just for change. I like to collect, like we were saying before, Hot Wheels and Master Universe, which is a form of revenge of my childhood, if you want to say like that. And then that's it. I mean, I try to interact with other channel, and mostly in the last 2 years, we see the quite big improvement. And also with companies, there's a bunch of companies there. Believe it or not, they're even big name. They're open to channels that want to help them out, even if they are not big channels. Actually, most of the time they trust more in small channels than big ones, because I hate to say that, but sometimes I get the impression that some big names, if they review something, they don't want to exactly say the truth about the product. Or
Right.
if it's wrong, let's make an example. I saw the AK operator review of the Century Armor Plus 47, and the rifle clearly failed. And they were like, but it's shooting pretty good. Yeah, but the rifle failed. So what's the point? It's like your car looks awesome, but the engine is a shit. So, So I tend to say that the truth, whatever is possible, and some company appreciate it too. I try to put my input on that. Other than that,
That's a very valid point too about the bias that sometimes the bigger channels will have.
well, yeah,
Because they're getting fed products and things, and sometimes they want to give positive reviews because it supports the bias. But there's a lot of companies too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you say first. You first, sorry.
Okay, no problem. I was going to say, there's a lot of companies that do want an honest review. They do want to see where their product fails so that they can make the product better. And I respect those companies. I think that's a good thing.
Well, then you got your limits. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but there is a policy which I respect about the ranges. They don't let you film even outdoor ranges. Like went to the range in Ottawa down south. I think it's called Buffalo Ranges.
Yep.
Pretty beautiful, cool range. Cool people, very friendly.
But they have strict policy against filming there.
Which I'm trying to explain how we film, which is a tripod with a camera pointing at you. I'm not going around waving rifle at everyone.
Yeah, you're not trying to film other people. You're trying to film just yourself and your gear that you're testing.
I want to jump in for a second, guys. This is why we make an effort. We're starting to do some videos, and we made an effort to find a spot in the National Forest where we could basically film whatever we want, and got a buddy working with me who does that. His thing is to film people giving them their first firearms experience, and he's also a trainer here in Arizona, and he has a unique way that he does things. He uses drones with cameras on them.
Cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The problem is we had to find a spot that was 5 miles away from any airport, and as you know, there's a lot of small airports out here in Arizona. So we found a spot that was just exactly right. And so far it's been working pretty good. We've got 2 videos in the bag, and we'll be ready to post them in the next couple of weeks. And one is on the new SIG P320, and the other one is on my brand new Ruger Mini 14 and 300 Blackout.
Oh, wow. Cool. So, by the way, where are your videos posted at?
They're not posted yet. Like I said, we're doing the finishing. We're doing the finishing touches on them. So I will definitely let you know when they go up. Like I said, they'll be at gunlink.com.
Okay.
The podcast will be there in the next this coming week, and there'll be the first 2 podcasts will be up, and then they'll be weekly. And after that, I would say in about 5 or 6 days, the videos will start to get posted.
Yeah, the drones are definitely a nice thing to have when you're doing gun videos and stuff, especially even for some of the action shooting sports that we do. Toby, you were actually talking about you either bought one or are in the process of buying one.
I have what's called a Lily camera on order.
Okay.
And that is it's basically like a GoPro built into a weatherproof drone,
Mm-hmm.
but it tracks you. You actually put a tracking device on you, so you can actually program it to shoot from one angle or to shoot at multiple angles, but it travels around or
Right.
whatever, but it tracks that disc that you have on you. So
Right.
when I go to matches, whenever they finally come out with them, they push the release date back like 6 months while they're finishing some of the stuff. But I'll be able to take it to matches before I shoot. Just throw it up in the air, and it'll film me through the whole thing, and I don't have to have somebody following me with a GoPro.
Yeah, and that can be a challenge sometimes. As you know, my experience that I have to get a little more aggressive when I'm trying to film because I get too far back. You get people in front of you, and then you lose getting a good shot of your shooter that you're trying to film.
Right.
Yeah, in small base stages, like Rick, I don't know if you saw any of the video we put up from the last Indiana multi-gun match.
I saw a couple little clips. Yeah.
Yeah, that some of us went to. Those were pretty easy because they were short base style stages. But when you get to those natural terrain stages where you got to move a lot, they get kind of hard to keep up.
Yeah, follow along with everybody. Absolutely. There's one with the camera too. I've seen as an option. Actually, it's not really a camera; it's a tripod, I believe. Solo shot, which again, well, it's a camera that mounts on a tripod though, and you can actually have more than one of them, so you can get multiple camera angles. And it'll follow you with you have a bracelet you wear, and it'll follow you with that. I've heard though that one of the drawbacks was inside. It doesn't always follow you or something like that with the current version, but there's a new version either that is out now or is coming out that will actually work off I think off GPS or something, and it will work out both indoors and outdoors. But I would screen share it if I could, but I'm having problems with my screen sharing ability today for some reason. But it's just kind of a neat feature that it'll work with any camera on the tripod, and then it can also, I believe, with specific cameras, the data link cable can connect to your camera, and then from your wristband, you can hit a button and you can take a snapshot or whatever, which is kind of cool. But Tenda, I was going to ask you too, where do you actually film? Because I know we mentioned where you can't film at Buffalo Range, for example, where they have policy against it.
The only place I filmed so far is a friend. One of the few outdoor videos actually in a friend property in Ottawa. Which is far away from me, but it's worth it. Other than that, I might have two things I tested that I film at my ex work. Other than that, I cannot film outside, unfortunately. And I try to explain my reason to the owner of the range, and they give me their reason, which sound a little bit like BS, but
I understand.
No, but
I'll send you the link to our. Come down here and film whatever you want, whenever you want.
No, appreciate that.
Awesome.
Because don't get me wrong. They were saying, oh, because if you take a picture and you tag somebody, they know that you will let you take a picture, and maybe there is something behind you they don't want to be taken in the picture. I mean, like, what the fuck? Well, and then
people that they're concerned about.
Yeah, don't want to even digress because they start. I understand they're good people. I'm nothing against law enforcement, but sometimes one range officer is a policeman, and he's saying that your blade stack, the blade stack at the pistol stock, the one look like a blade. I don't know if you guys know which one
Right,
it is.
yeah.
Doesn't come with the straps.
Right.
You just put it on your arm or you put it on your chin. You don't shoulder it. You put it on your chin. And try to explain them. Oh, but doesn't have a strap. It's not a pistol. I can't let you shoot this here. That's an SPR. I'm looking at him. No,
That's so funny. You know what? We got the indoor range here, and I don't know if you guys are coming to Arizona. If I'm allowed to throw out a plug, Rick.
Absolutely, you can throw any plugs you want.
Okay, it is the premier indoor shooting range in northern Arizona. It's called Copper Star, and it's right off exit 287 on I-17 if you're heading up to the Grand Canyon, and you can shoot anything you want full auto. They got the only 100-yard indoor rifle range in northern Arizona, and they have the RPK from Red Dawn.
Oh, that's sweet.
Okay, so and the owners are former military, and in fact, the gal, it's a husband and wife. The gal was only the second female EOD sergeant in the U.S. Army, and Luann is wonderful, and she lets a lot. There's a lot of filming going on there because the two gun comedy guys on Monday night, Tar and Nance from Guns and Weapons, they film in there. We've done a podcast from there. They've let us take product shots in there, but they closed a section of the range off from public so that there's no conflict of interest. There's nobody that doesn't want to get on camera gets on camera.
Yeah, because
you got to work it out with them. You got to, if they don't want to talk to you, you find somebody else, brother.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, same. But for example, there is another range, local range, which I don't like to go over there anymore because I think there's a bunch of bricks. But especially with women's, which piss me off.
I like this.
Because
I do like this guy.
Thank you. They get an attitude with women, and then they see my wife shooting, which is a way better shooter than me, like way better. And then they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? So anyway, and they were saying, oh, you can come after a business hour and you can film. Okay, fine, sounds good to me. And then you got all the big thing about, which I understand, again, the steel case mess, you know what I mean? Oh, you can shoot steel case, you're gonna damage the back of the range. And then I'm looking on the ground, and there is a 7.62 by 54 R, which is notorious than the Mosin Nagant surplus ammo, and 9 by 8 of round. I'm like,
right.
Like, what? They've been shooting the Mosin Nagant. That's surplus ammo. That's even worse. Those are, and they have silver. The one I have, they have a silver stripe. I don't know if they got some kind of heavy, I don't know, perforation or whatever.
Yeah, the 7.62 by 54R, I believe, has a mild steel core.
That's what I'm like, and I have my Tula ammo. I'm like, really? Like, so, I mean, sometimes, I don't want to argue. I don't want to start a fight. I saw people with a rifle jam pointing the rifle on the ground, and and I try to, do something, and the range officer walking behind them and don't do anything, which I'm looking at me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That reminds me of a story once that I was not real happy about. I was at a local range. I'm not going to name any names, but a couple of young kids were there with a Mosin Nagant. Granted, the bolt was back on it, but they had it out of the booth, pointed like sideways down the aisle, and I was like, as I'm walking through one of the doors from the range, like, what the hell? It kind of pissed me off a little bit, to say the least. But yeah, there is sometimes some range etiquette issues, and there's also, like you said, about the steel case and steel core ammo and stuff, and sometimes it gets a little confusing to some people and everything. But so, Todd, tell us a little bit about your range and what you guys have going on and everything right now, and where you're at and all that.
Well, we're in southern Illinois from Chicago.
Right.
Actually, it's not that far, about 4 hours south. A little town called Cesar.
Okay.
I started, when Illinois passed, I've been a firearms instructor through the military and law enforcement for going on 20 years now. Never was a market in Illinois until we passed the concealed carry law. And about the time I got certified as a concealed carry instructor, I realized that I probably need to find some place to shoot. And a buddy of mine approached me, wanted to build a range, wanted me to help him manage it. I designed work. We're now open for business. A gun shop attached to it. Probably the only gun shop with an attached outdoor range in the Midwest, I think. Probably, I think approximately got a 5-lane rifle bay out to 340 right now. We're going to push it out closer to 800 eventually. We have a 50-yard small bore bay that we utilize in a 25-yard dedicated pistol bay, and then we also have a for law enforcement and for my training and stuff like that. And for competition, we're just getting started. A friend of mine, he's not on here, he's up north tonight, but he drugged me into IDPA, and then we formed what we've called the Southern Illinois Shooting Association. In an attempt to, we wanted to take some things from other shooting disciplines, competitive shooting disciplines, and meld them into something that was fun without a lot of the BS rules like IDPA has. So we formed SISA. We're still running IDPA by the IDPA rules. We formed a 3-gun nation club series down here. We all got started. That's one thing I've been wanting to do for years. Just didn't have a place to do it. Shoot 3-gun, and we're having a blast with it. And we're also we have 3-gun competition this Saturday, the 30th, and then the 1st is IDPA. The following Saturday, we've scheduled an intro youth 3-gun. We formed a team down here last year, a little over a year ago, pistol shooters, my daughter included. And we didn't really like what we saw, the behind-the-scenes stuff with Scholastic Pistol. That's as far as I'll go with that.
Okay.
We're no longer going to concentrate on Scholastic Pistol. We're going to start a youth 3-gun circuit. Probably only be 3 competitions, but we're getting a huge influx of youth wanting to learn more about 3-gun and in the shooting sports as a whole.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
We've got some really big things planned this year. June 25th and 26th. Anybody's in Southern Illinois or wants to come to Southern Illinois, we've got a match scheduled. We just found we were working with Springfield Armory. Things fell through with them. Ruger Arms picked us up. They're going to sponsor the event. We have some other stage sponsors coming on as we speak. Be 6 stages, 36 steel targets per stage, plus a man versus man stage also. So
very cool.
Down,
nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We do all kinds of videoing down here. We've been dabbling in doing some firearms testing for some companies, but I have a trouble. Well, I mean, I usually tell the company up front that when we do the test, I'm gonna put your firearm through a real world shooting test, defensive style shooting test. If I give it a thumbs up, I'll give you a copy of the video. You can use it however you want. And I'm going to use the video my way. If I can't give you a thumbs up, I'll give you the video. You'll never hear another word from me. I'm not going to say anything good about a gun that I can't say good about a gun.
There you go.
See, now
there's been several of those here lately.
Hey Todd, what branch? What branch were you in, sir?
I don't know if Todd heard you.
I said, hey Todd, what branch were you in?
United States Army. Can you not hear me now?
I hear you fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you for your service. Also Army right here.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you,
everyone.
And so, Todd, here's a question about that, about the videos. So, are you saying that basically, if you can't say anything nice about a product, you're not going to say it at all? Is that kind of the gist?
Well, it depends. If they give me the gun and tell me I can keep the gun, then I won't say anything bad about their product. I'll just leave it alone. Unless it is. Now, I will say this: if it's a firearm or a self-defense related item that they're trying to market to people as a defensive weapon, excuse me, it's a defensive firearm. Then if it's junk, I'm going to call it like it is. I'm right now, and I'll be honest, the Sky Industries, whatever they call that gun, is a death trap that's going to get somebody killed. I had all kinds of trouble with it. The trigger's not resetting. And that's not the only one. I've got a couple others that we're getting ready to shoot that I already know before even putting them through some big tests that I don't think they're going to make it. They're not going to make the cut.
I don't know if everybody can hear your audio real well or not. I was having some trouble hearing you.
You guys can, I don't know what's wrong. I can't tell. I thought the audio was the only thing I had working right.
Okay. Oh, Bill wanted to make a comment, I think, about something that you were saying. So, Bill, go ahead and...
Yeah, on the same line at what Todd is talking about, you know, we're the same way. That's why I'm very careful with who I take test items from. I prefer to buy stuff off the shelf or borrow it. I have you know, my FFL here has been very good about that. He's a good friend of mine.
Now that we've got the gun club or actually gun store, I'm not even approaching companies anymore. We're just we get them in, we'll videotape it, and then I can say what I want.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel the same way. And the story I was going to throw out to you guys was, and this is a name major company. You know, the guy, their media relations director, who's a competition shooter, himself made great pains to come to me after I did an interview with him, and he found out I was former service, even though I was an aviator. You know, I wasn't a ground pounder like you, Todd, but I've been shooting a long time. So he said, I want you to try our new rifle with this new scope. And I said, okay, no problem. And he said, honest review, just pound away at it. Do whatever you want to do. All right, now, it's not really super harsh conditions here in northern Arizona, but it could get pretty dusty. So I take this rifle out to the range. First time, 200 rounds, no problem. Okay? So I said, I'm going to set it aside. Next time it goes out, we're going to get a little harsher. Okay? Second time out, on the 361st round, the front sight blew itself off and went 25 yards downrange.
Wow.
So I call up the gentleman, and I tell him, listen, your rifle shot its front sight off. Even though I was still able to continue with the scope, I'd like to send it back to you so I can finish doing you remount the sight, and I can finish doing the test. Well, guess what? Never got the rifle back from them. They decided I must have been being too brutal on their gun.
Wow. So what type of rifle was it?
Shoot your gun like any redneck would.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Todd. Say that again.
That's why I said I usually tell companies up front, I'm going to treat your gun like any good redneck would. We're going to run it through its paces. I'm going to try to break it.
Right.
I've not broken. I haven't broke one yet. Well, the one I mentioned earlier. Any more abuse, and when I say abuse, I'm just talking shooting it 500 rounds, and there's enough metal shavings inside it to start causing trouble. And,
what kind of gun was that again?
It was the Sky Industries CPX2.
Okay.
A beautiful gun. They let me pick out the color of the frame. It's a fresh dark earth. And,
Right.
Neat little gun. The trigger mechanism, when the armor talked me through taking the gun apart to try to fix the reset issue, I was stunned. It looked like something out of a cat gun.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's laying right here on the floor. I'd take it apart if I had a punch to take it apart with.
Yeah. Well, there is a company they don't make an example. I don't want to make names, but again, seems like I'm Century Arms. They make some good stuff like the Canic, which seems like being actually they don't make it; they import it.
Right.
But I have two other products. I think. Let me get four actually. Sorry. Anyhow, I got two Wazer 10. They work so pretty good so far. I shoot probably a good 1,000 round each. But I'm not an expert. I don't see any marking, any stuff on a gunsmith. I have no idea. There's anything else going wrong with that. But I have the M92 PAP, which the trigger. Again, I'm not an expert, but the trigger went off. So the trigger pin per se were too short.
Walked out. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I called them. I'm like, listen, there's anything I can do about it? How long did you bought it? I don't know. I bought a Cabela 18 months ago. You know, I explained. I put the stock. I put this stuff. Oh, lost the warranty once you did that. You did this. I'm like, okay. What am I supposed to do? Keep it? I don't know. So I ordered 2 trigger pins, were $5 at Midway USA. I tried by myself. I'm not an expert. A retainer plate for the trigger. You know, the one they sell specifically for the pop, which I think is made by CNC Warrior. Anyway, and I fixed the rifle by myself, and now worked fine. And same story with the freaking what was the other stuff I issued by Century Arm? Oh yeah, I bought from a friend an AK-74 with I think it was like 5 years old, 6 years old.
With the air quotes, right?
Sorry?
With the air quotes. AK-74.
Because you know they use parts. I hate to say in the States when an AK gets over here, 75% of the time they chop it, they change part, they mix it, so they destroy the rifle. The only thing about Europe, till before the terrorist attack, you can buy a rifle from the arsenal, like from the arsenal. So you got these German AKs, you know, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyhow. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, at least you know what you got in your hands, and they're like $600, $500. But anyway, so I ended up shooting this 74 with the Waffenwerk receiver, which was working fine. Nice looking rifle. I changed the rifle dynamic stock adapter, blah blah blah. You know, spent a bunch of money on bullshit. You know, grab custom safety, blah blah. I'm going shooting outside. Oh, it was amazing. I love it because I love the 74 almost more than the 47 for different reasons, which I might told you in another day. Maybe it takes a long, maybe take a couple of hours. Anyway, I've been shooting it, and so, you know, it looks fine. And I tried the rifle once inside the indoor range at my ex-work, and I'm looking at, and you can see clearly there in all the ammo work. You can see that it was keyholing, I think it's called it, when you're, you know, when the bullets instead of go straight goes like sideways all the time. And I'm looking at, I'm like, I gotta wear the, you know, feeling. I'm like, let me call. So I sent a text to Jim Fuller because it's as everyone in the gun business, after a while you tend to lose your hearings, so you can actually call him. You gotta text him. I sent him a picture of Jim, and Jim is like, Fabrizio, is that a Century Arm 74? I'm like, yes. Can you show me a picture of the target? I sent him a picture of the target. Sure enough, they put the wrong barrel. Sorry. So what might happen? They might have put a 5.56 barrel on a 5.45 by 39, which works. But as far as don't blow the gun, but then again, what happened after you let the bullet left the barrel, it's another story. So I have to send it to Rifle Dynamics, which is still sitting over there 6 months later, which is normal, I understand. It's a favor that Jim is doing to fix it. He doesn't want to deal with Century Arm anymore. But anyway, need to be repaired. It's gonna cost me $450. Does it worth it? I don't know. I like the gun. I like the finishing. So I thought they're gonna you know, put a new barrel. They're gonna sandblast and parkerize the rifle again. So it's gonna be pretty much a new gun, I guess. But that's the problem with the company. You can't tell somebody, oh, it's 1 year after. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a freaking AK. I understand if it was an AR, which, you know, I like as far platform. It's a really finicky gun because, you know, it's you got, you know, but an AK, you're supposed to use it as a hammer or fix it with a hammer, pretty much.
I've got 2 AKs. I've got an AK-74 and an AK-47 from Arsenal.
Oh, see, that's a good choice. You can't go wrong with that.
And literally, I stuck my AK-74 in the corner when I came back from the range once because I had shot about 10 guns that day, and I forgot about it, and I forgot to clean it. And I literally kicked the bolt open and shot it.
Wow. Yeah.
Because it was froze up from all the corrosive ammunition, and I couldn't even get it open. I literally kicked the bolt open and shot the gun. I
got the same problem too. Yeah.
If you buy a good AK, you can't. I almost say you can't beat it, but you literally can beat it.
No, absolutely. I've been fighting 2 years with a Norinco SKS that I have sitting on my gun safe, And finally, with the help of my friend, which is a gunsmith, qualified, a real gunsmith, the one that spent 25 grand for a class, which is there's a bunch of gunsmith around here, but anyway, 25 grand later, I think so I bought the Tapco gas tube, you know, the one you can buy, you know, with a rail system, and following the instruction file, end up probably filing like a night in Las Vegas nightclub, pile of bills, single bills. That's what you know, like supposed to make it rain with that much. So now it works. It's right over here with me. We test fired it, and then I'm happy about it because it's which we. For what I heard, Norinco, they're supposed to be decent SKS and guns in general, and it's worth something. Of course, again, I can claim my warranty because I don't think the company is anymore in the business. They want to import this stuff. Because I think it's like...
Mine works. Mine works.
No. I can show... I mean, I post some picture on Facebook because I'm Facebook, Instagram, and all that crap like that. Right. I mean, it's...
And they can find you at Eltenda, which is... well, it's Tenda, but it's ELTNDA.
Yeah.
That's how it's spelled.
Yeah. Echo Lima, Tango, Echo, Nevada, Delta, Alpha, Ed, and then whatever. Altenda, that's it. So
my only AK is a shotgun, and I have the Catamount Fury 2, and it run. I mean, I got it now. It's $600. I got it when it was $400. So
wow, cool.
I guess I got a deal. The only problem with that, guys, other than, you know, as opposed to the Saiga or the Viper, is that you can't put a drum on it.
Ah, sucks. Okay.
So it's just 5 or 10 shot mags. So.
How many? Oh, it's only 5 round mags.
5 or 10.
Okay.
I have a couple of each.
What my MK1919 actually came with 2 5-rounders, and I picked up I think 4 more 10-rounders for that. And there isn't, as far as I know, there isn't a drum made for the MK.
There is a drum. There is a drum made for it. I've seen it, and that's the better shotgun for people who are AR familiar.
Yes.
And you know, I'm not a big AR freak. The 2 ARs I have a 9mm, not 5.56, because I'm a Mini 14 guy. But you know, hey, if you're an AR guy, that's the shotgun for you. Okay. If people say to me, if people ask me, hey Doc, what shotgun should I buy? A magazine, you know, box magazine fed shotgun. I'm going to say, are you AR familiar, or do you like to run AKs? If you like to run AKs, then go spend $1,000 on a Saiga or a Vipa.
Now, granted, there is the issue too. Like with my MK, I've had some jamming issues when the mags usually get low, or sometimes the follower would stick in the bottom of the mags. The mags seem to be like the biggest drawback on them, and I've been given some tips that I have to actually go through on these mags very soon here, which is adjusting the feed lips, and there's a couple things you can do, like the bolt hold open feature that's available on the mags actually causes the follower to drag a little bit, so some people just take the bolt hold open little notch lever piece off the follower altogether.
Right.
And a couple other tricks you can do to help them run more functional, or increasing the functionality of them. Which is sad. You shouldn't have to do that, you know, with anything. I mean, it should just run out of the box perfectly fine for you know, the most part. But that's something I need to address, and it was really evident in the last match that I shot, which Toby can attest to. I had a lot of jamming issues with the 10-round mags.
A lot.
Well, you know what? But let's be honest, guys. We all know this. Whatever level of experience, we all have some level of experience with shooting. The magazine in any semi-automatic firearm is the weakest link. Let's face it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Especially in the shotgun, it wasn't really designed to be having those 12-gauge shot shells loaded from a magazine. It wasn't originally intended for that.
Right.
We just got it in. We're going to do a video test here pretty quick and put it on with the SRM 16-shot semi-auto, the 4 tubes. I'd never seen it. Terry Newman owns a range and the gun shop. He saw it somewhere online, ordered one, and we've shot it several times. Just to see how it handles different loads. It seems to work pretty good.
I
I've
couldn't.
got suggestions for the company to make it better. But I'll have a video. I'll share it with you guys when we
I
get it
couldn't
done.
quite hear what gun that was though, because your audio is on my end is breaking up a bit.
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
RM.
I still didn't hear it.
SRM16. The 16. Can you hear me now?
SRN16, he said, Rick.
Okay. Huh. I'll have to look it up and see what it is.
It's kind of it's a AR-ish platform. Only the foregrip is a set of tubes, which act as a magazine. That's how you reload it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Pull the 4 tubes out, drop them on the ground, jam another 4 tubes in. Each tube holds 4 rounds. You fire 4 rounds. You got to push a lever and twist the tube to the next tube.
That seems familiar to me. I might have seen it before.
I'd seen a video, I think, of one some time ago, but I didn't really research it any. And then when Terry, he called me and said, "Hey man, you need to check out the shotgun."
Your video just froze up on my screen.
You're still having problems. Can you hear me?
We hear you a little bit, Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you sound like you should be like asking for a ransom or
That's probably just my normal correctional officer voice, probably.
Hey, Todd, I found it. I'm looking it up, so.
Yeah, awesome. It's a pretty neat gun. It's a little light, so it'll be just a little bit lighter than the MK 1919. We were shooting. We had, I don't even know what the manufacturer of the red dot scope was. We were given and told to try it out and see what we thought. So we figured we would torture test it a little bit, and it wouldn't hold up 2 rounds with a 12 gauge with long brass, and it was done. I got it to come back on for about 30 seconds, and I don't even know what the company. I'd never heard of the company, never even seen an advertisement.
You know what looks interesting about this? That there's 2 different bolts, and that one bolt is a regular 12 gauge for regular 12 gauge shells, and the second bolt is for less lethal ammunition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. If you go to the website and watch the video on it, it's some pretty neat things. I mean, they've actually got a full auto version of it too.
As far 12 gauge semi-auto, one of that I was impressed as far new companies, it's DDI, Destructive Device, whatever they call it in the industry, DDI Delta. I saw their AK, which is getting pretty close to 100% made in the United States, finally. Which they have a Saiga-style rifle, 12 gauge, which is made in China, I believe. But I was actually pretty impressed. The review are really good, and I mean, aesthetically, it's very simple. I mean, plain, nothing fancy, but it has something. It's an hybrid between an AR and AK. It has some safety and some other stuff, but it's really, I think it was like $650 retail. So, okay, wait a second.
Rick's Wi-Fi crashed.
Yeah. Just got a message too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, Rick's internet went down.
Yeah. So, like I said, no, that seems to be an interesting. I think it's $650 retail. So I don't know. It was interesting giving a try. Like with all the stuff with the canic and everything, everyone is like, oh, it's made in Turkey. I'm like, so what? I mean, it's some, I think sometimes it's like when people buy an XD at Springfield, like they find out it's made in Croatia, design or made in Croatia, like ta-da! Too overpriced.
Well, then let me ask you guys a question. You guys, I hear all this good stuff about the Canic and the Grand Power. You guys don't like those guns?
The Canic, I would love to buy one. I try, physically, not shoot it, but I like feeling it, and whatever you do when you try a gun,
Right.
Just the action and everything. Seems a nice gun.
Okay.
For 349, whatever, 349. I mean, can't go wrong. I mean, I don't think you can buy a lot of stuff. Maybe a shield, I think, is 350. But you're talking about a pistol that is yay big versus a full-size gun with an holster, 2 magazines.
Right. Yeah,
What is
because we have J&G here near us, and they're dealers for all that stuff. You know, that's where I got the excuse me, sorry guys. That's where I got the shotgun from. That's where I got the Catamount, because they get a lot of stuff imported through Century and EAA. You know, we also got my wife. She has carpal tunnel and arthritis, so mostly she's a revolver shooter, with the exception of the EAA Tankfolio Witness Pavona, the gun with 4 names.
Okay, somehow,
Special.
guys, I didn't mean to
Go
cut
ahead,
you
Rick.
guys.
No, go ahead, Rick.
I lost my ability to control if the show is live or not for some reason. My Wi-Fi went down on me in the middle of this, and luckily you guys are still in the room, so it's still showing that it's live and it's still broadcasting.
Yes.
Very strange, because that's not something that normally has happened before for me. Or has not happened.
That's the Google's way of saying it's not about you tonight, Rick.
Yeah. Well,
I think you download too much donkey porn. That's your problem.
no, that's not the case. But let me see if I can get back in here where I can actually start and end the show. I don't know if I can. I followed the link that you guys all followed, and it's still showing it live. So whatever happened, it just decided to happen. But very interesting experience to go through with Google. It's been kind of troublesome in the past couple weeks here.
Like I was saying, you know, I don't have any double stack handgun, so I was evaluating something and I can use. I mean, that I can consider wise. I use a shield, which is a decent gun, but I don't enjoy shooting too much.
Well, I just ordered a ported one.
Yes.
I'm friendly with Julie Gollivan. I took her recommendation, so I can't wait to get it and shoot it.
Yeah,
the only problem I have with the shield